So I've made some pretty significant progress since my last video. Got the motor Longblock basically together. Just about to put the intake manifold on it right now. Painted it up with satin black engine paint. Painted the valve covers. Shot a little bit on the intake just to kind of shine it up a little bit. Painted a bunch of parts that are going to go on the motor and the engine bay black, just to kind of, it's going to go with an all blacked out theme. I had, obviously the car had a 6-speed in it. There's the car, poor thing's all apart. The car had a 6-speed in it from the factory, and going to make power with turbocharging, and I was afraid the 6-speed wouldn't last very long. I didn't want to spend 1200 plus on a clutch on a transmission that wasn't really built for what I wanted to make. So changed to a traded for a turbo 350, and more I heard, more I read, turbo 350 was kind of on the ragged edge of being able to hold the power that I wanted to make. So I ended up going back to the 6-speed. I got a guy that wanted to trade me for a built 6-speed, and gave that some time and some thought, and decided to sell it outright to a buddy of mine, a full swap that I had. So the guy that actually traded me the 350 had a 400 core that he just gave me. So this is that 400 core, and now it's built. So it's going to be a forward auto valve body. Well, it is a forward auto valve body with manual override, basically, so I can pull it down into a gear when I want, upshift it manually if I want to at the track. So it should be good for, he said 1,000 tire, so basically just the input shaft is the weak link, just like the 80s is basically an 80 without the overdrive. So he built it to his specs that he does all the time. It's a local guy out of Oklahoma, so hopefully it works and lasts and does what I want it to do. So put a B&M deep pan on it. He shot it up with some nice paint, so looking sharp. And anyway, today I'm putting the intake manifold on this thing. I'm just trying to get an hour in a day. Don't really have a whole lot of extra time for this right now. So also, you'll notice the rear end's out of the car. I took the rear end out not too long ago. Took it to a buddy. He took it all apart and realized that when we were changing gears, I changed it from a 373 to a 327 gear. Realized that the, well, I'm not sure which side, but one of the axles was bent. So I'm taking that to a local shop, having the bearings pulled off and having him measure it, get it exactly what I need. I'm going to call it Moser and order that custom axle for it, and then I'll be putting that 8.8 back in this car. It came out of a different car that I've had the axle, or had the rear end for quite a while. So anyway, once that's back here, hoping I can have the engine assembled, all the accessories on it as far as assembly goes, and have it ready to go on the K-member in the next week or two. These videos are going to be kind of run together because like I said, I have an hour at a time, and the videos will be fairly short, but I'll run them together if I need to. Kind of make them short and sweet. Just kind of see the car getting put together, and then hopefully more of this channel will be, finished product, seeing what it does, seeing what the car's capable of. Still want to do some autocross. I think this 400 will be okay for that. Like I said, it has manual override with the gearing I'm going to run. 327 gear. Should be able to run around on autocross up to 50, 55 miles an hour, maybe 60 in first gear, probably 60 at the top. So should work well for what I want to do. I don't plan on ever hitting a road course in the car. There's really not any too close by. Might be able to make a lap or two, but heat would be an issue. So the cool thing is about turbocharging is I can, pull the wastegate spring and basically just run the motor. I got a PTC. It's their 10-inch $500 jobber. A lot of guys run them. They work really well. Hopefully this thing works how I want it to with everything I want to do with the car. I figured if I'm not applying boost to it, it'll be pretty tight, and maybe that'll work pretty well for autocross, so I guess we'll see. That tunnel mount torque arm's going, and sell it. I've got a Founders full-length bar, or torque arm rather, and then I've got to order the cross members still. But anyway, it's coming together. These are the Siemens Deca 80s, directly from EFI source, so I know that they're legit. You can get them on eBay cheaper, but they're not legit. EFI source is the cheapest place I could find that had them. I think they're around like $340, something like that. Could be wrong. It's been a while since I've worked with them. And here they are installed. Just pulled them out, stuck them in the stock rail, slid right in. No real restriction. I'm about to go toss it on the intake. So, Fuel Injector Dynamics recommends Dawn dish soap, so I'm gonna put some of that on there. Maybe I'll pop in here. Oh! Just kidding. Just finished hanging all the accessories on the motor, and this is the finished product. So I took the time to paint all of the bolt heads, black everything out. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm gonna go back through with a little bit of paint, spot these. These top two would probably be visible. Everything else should be hidden on the AC. May shoot some paint down here on the top of this just to kind of hide these, but they're not going to be too visible down there, I don't think, these top three. Everything's going pretty smooth so far. Just taking the time, slowly chipping away at it. I got everything on it as far as I know, as far as I can remember, so keep going and see what I got left in the box.